Welcome back, everyone. 5:27 this morning. Only 6 Democratic candidates were on the debate stage last night in Iowa. It's the smallest field yet for one of those. The last 4 Democratic caucus winners, though, have gone on to win the party's nomination as well. CBS's Naomi Ruckham is in New York, and she has our wrap-up.
And I am not here to try to fight with Bernie.
Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders were ready to move on from reports that Sanders told his Senate colleague a woman couldn't win the presidency.
Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 3 million votes. How could anybody in a million years not believe that a woman could become president?
Warren did draw a contrast between the men and women on stage.
The only people on this stage who have won every single election that they've been in are the women, Amy and me.
But the camera captured a tense moment after the debate.
I think they were trying to figure out something between the two of them, but I didn't really hear what it was.
Foreign policy took a larger role this time around.
Donald Trump is taking us pell-mell toward another war.
It's the first debate since the military escalation with Iran.
I'm ready to take on Donald Trump because when he gets to the tough talk and the chest thumping, he'll have to stand next to an American war veteran and explain how he pretended bone spurs made him ineligible to serve.
The candidates rehashed their health care arguments.
Everybody on this stage believes that affordable health care is a right for every single American.
And each believes they're ready to take on President Trump.
I've been the object of his affection now more than anybody else in this state. I've taken all the hits he can deliver, and I'm getting better in the poll.
This is the last debate before Iowans hold their first in the nation caucus next month. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
That caucus will be on February 3rd, and then the next debate is February 7th in New Hampshire. Voters there hold the first primary just 4 days after that. Still ahead for you this morning, a Missouri city debates changing a rule for police officers due to a drastic staff shortage.
Plus, what game day cameras inside the stadium didn't catch, a fight in the parking lot of Arrowhead. Welcome back to Daybreak, everyone. It's a hump day, January 15th. I'm Lauren Barnes.
I'm Joe Morano, and I hope the week is going Faster for you than it is for me. I thought it was Thursday up until about 5 a.m. when you said it was Wednesday.
Well, I'm glad I could help you out with that. I'm hoping meteorologist Beth Fennell can help me out with something, because I think I speak for all of Springfield when I say I am in desperate need of a car wash.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
From this weekend, like all the salt and stuff on my car.
Yeah, and my car's white, so it's looking real nasty. I'm wondering if today might be a good day to go.
I think so. We have like a light shower chance, but we're not looking at a torrential downpour. But looking ahead to Friday morning, we have some icy mix possible, so that might cause some more salt to be put on the road.
I'll do a cheap car wash and then hold out
Yes,
this weekend.
like one of those, like just drive the car through and get everything off.
All
Yeah.
right, okay.
Yeah. We're starting off this morning with a patchy to dense fog. We've got another dense fog advisory. I know I sound like a broken record. Another dense fog advisory for north central Arkansas. This goes until 9 o'clock this morning. We have less than a mile visibility down in Harrison and in Mountain Home. We're looking at about 4 in West Plains, but we're looking clear everywhere else. Right now on the Branson camera, things look fine. We've got temperatures sitting in the 40s. It's 46 degrees right now, warmer than yesterday. 50 in Mountain Grove, 49 in Rolla, 53 out in Joplin, and 49 here in Springfield. We're about 5 to 15 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. Today is going to be that last day for our warming trend. The only road hazard that we have is that patchy fog, especially south and east of the interstate. Otherwise, we're looking at cloudy conditions through the day today. Again, maybe a light shower or two as a front comes in. So as the kids head out to the bus stop, again, maybe some patchy fog, especially down towards West Plains and Branson. Temperatures are going to be in the 40s. By dismissal, temperatures will be warm. They'll be in the upper 50s. Some places are going to hit 60 today, despite the mostly cloudy skies. In just a few minutes, we'll talk about that icy mix that I mentioned and more details on all of that.
In your news around the region, whether or not police officers should be required to live in the city they serve is a question officials in St. Louis County are struggling with. A Missouri House committee is considering legislation that would lift a residency requirement for officers in St. Louis County. Leaders in the city say the residency requirement makes it difficult to recruit officers. The police chief says the department is more than 100 officers short. State Representative David Gregory weighs in on the issue.
Police officers want the right to choose what neighborhoods their kids grow up in. Police officers want the right to choose where their kids go to school, and so that's deterring police officers.
Some of the concerns about passing the bill include how many St. Louis neighborhoods would lose police officers living there and whether the state should step into a local issue.
A fight in the parking lot of Arrowhead Stadium after the Chiefs win Sunday ended with a man in jail.
Another man had to be taken to the hospital because he lost 2 teeth. Prosecutors charged Jonathan Brown with assault. Witnesses told police he was driving one of 2 cars that hit each other while leaving.
The driver of the other car ended up in a confrontation with Brown's wife. That's when, according to witnesses, Brown punched the other man, knocking him unconscious. Police say surveillance footage has made it difficult to figure out exactly what happened. 2020 could be a historic year for the United Methodist Church as the discussion to separate denominations over the issue of gay marriage and gay clergy continues. This will have impacts worldwide and also in our region. On Monday, 16 United Methodist bishops and advocacy group leaders live-streamed a discussion to clarify and explain a proposed plan to form a new conservative denomination aside from the church. The dispute over gay marriage and gay clergy has been a topic of conversation for many years, and up to this point, there's been a lot of unknowns, and those are still there.
I can't necessarily say what this church would do either, because I think we have people on all sides of the spectrum. What I think my role is, and what we try to do, is stay in an attitude of prayer and discernment and openness and kindness and understanding and listening.
United Methodist Church leaders will consider the proposal in May. That's when it holds its general conference.
Taking a live look outside right now, roads are clear and roads are dry. We do have some dense fog, though, especially south and east of the interstate, much like we saw yesterday. Here in Springfield, I think things are clear and good to go. We'll keep this dense fog through about 9, 10 o'clock this morning. We've got some rain chances to talk about, plus an icy mix for the start of your Friday is possible right after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Now weather with meteorologist Beth Finello.
We're starting off this morning once again with a dense fog advisory until 9 o'clock, especially for our north central Arkansas counties. That's where the fog is most dense. So remember, take it slow. You want to leave extra space between you and the car in front of you, and you want to leave some extra time for your morning commute. We're at 3-mile visibility down in Mountain Home. We're looking at less than a mile visibility down in towards Harrison and about 4 in West Plains. Everywhere else looks good to go. Down in Branson on the Branson camera, things are clear. Roads just a little wet. It's 46 degrees right now. We are much warmer than we were at this time yesterday. It's 49 in Springfield, 50 up in Camdenton, and 46 in Mountain Home. We're about 5 to 15 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. Today is going to be the last day of our warming trend. We've got winds right now out of the south at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. That will help keep temperatures warm today, making it into the upper 50s. We're mostly cloudy right now. We have a front draped up to our north and west. That front is going to push south and east through the day today. It's going to bring some cooler temperatures through the overnight hours and maybe drop a light sprinkle or two as it moves through, but there's not much moisture for this front to work with. Temperatures again today will top off in the lower 50s. I do think a few places will hit 60 before that front makes it into the Ozarks. Notice again a couple of light showers. We're not looking at widespread rainfall, not looking at torrential rainfall through the day today. I do think, however, we will stay mostly cloudy through the overnight hours. Temperatures, look at this, dropping into the 20s. We'll start off tomorrow morning in the middle and upper 20s. Then tomorrow, I think mostly cloudy skies and temperatures will be noticeably colder, only topping off in the upper 30s and lower 40s. We'll have this cold air mass in place. We have this Arctic high pressure that'll sit up to our north and west. That will keep the cold air over the Ozarks. What's going to happen is a storm is going to start to push into the Ozarks. That's going to bring warmer air and more moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. And what's going to happen is the two are going to interact there. There's going to be a layer of cold air, a layer of warm air, and then it'll be a little bit colder at the surface. And that is a recipe for freezing rain, especially for Friday morning. So we could be looking at a slick morning commute for the morning hours on Friday. Then some good news through the rest of the day. We'll have temperatures make it into the 40s and some 50s. And that's just going to bring a cold rain for the rest of the day Friday and into the overnight hours on Saturday. So that wintry mix is possible. We could see a light glaze up to 1/10 of an inch here in Springfield and along Highway 60. The closer to central Missouri you get, that's where we'll start to see up to 2/10 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch of ice, and maybe up to an inch of some snow. So a cold day tomorrow. Precip moves in through the overnight hours Thursday into Friday. Freezing rain to start the day on Friday could mean a slick morning commute. Temperatures rise above freezing, so that will transition into just a cold rain for the day on Friday. Minor flooding is a concern, especially at low water crossings, because we still have that saturated soil from the rain on Saturday. 58 degrees today, mostly cloudy skies, maybe a light shower or two. 27 overnight tonight, cold and cloudy. 42 tomorrow, noticeably colder, but closer to average. Our average high for this time of year is 43. We'll have that icy mixed terrain for the morning hours on Friday, then a cold rain for the day on Friday. Tumbling temperatures on Saturday, and then 30 degrees for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
All right, thank you, Beth. Still ahead for you this morning. The articles of impeachment are headed to the Senate soon.
And a fuel dump from a plane midair is under investigation, though the airline says, what's the big deal? It happens all the time.
And around America for you now, additional information from 4 House committees is headed to the Senate in the Trump impeachment trial. The evidence includes letters, text messages, and handwritten notes provided by indicted Rudy Giuliani associate Lev Parnas. It adds new detail about how Giuliani tried to set up a meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky and connect with members of his government. It will go to the Senate along with the articles of impeachment ahead of the trial, which is expected to start next week.
A preliminary trade deal between the U.S. and China is expected to be signed by both leaders today. The document, which is still under wraps, is estimated to be more than 80 pages long. Typically, those with a direct interest, business groups, farmers, lawmakers, and trade lawyers have the chance to run through every detail. However, that's not the case this time. It's an effort to not force U.S. companies to hand over technology, as well as a pledge from China to buy $200 billion in farm goods and other products made by the U.S. over a 2-year period.
In some medical coverage for you, the FAA is investigating a jet fuel dump that affected dozens in California. Delta Flight 89, which was bound for China, declared an engine issue shortly after taking off at LAX. The video is believed to be the jet as it dumped fuel over at least 6 schools before its emergency landing. 60 people were affected, with at least 20 children reporting minor injuries. Delta says releasing fuel is, quote, part of a normal procedure to reach a safe landing weight. But the FAA, in response to this incident, tweeted fuel should be dumped over designated unpopulated areas, typically at higher altitudes, so the fuel atomizes and disperses before it even reaches the ground.
A vast majority of patients who suffered lung injury linked to THC vape products got them outside of the commercial market. The CDC says that's the case with almost 80% of patients who use THC vape products. More than 2,600 people nationwide have been hospitalized with lung injuries linked to vaping. 57 of them have died. Officials still believe one possible culprit is vitamin E acetate, an additive used in some THC vape products, but other chemicals have not been ruled out.
To a consumer watch for you now, Boeing reports it had more cancellations than new orders last year. Boeing's total orders for commercial jets last year fell by 87. Deliveries also fell 53% from 806 to 380. Much of that, of course, is due to the grounding of the 737 MAX following 2 fatal crashes last year that killed more than 300 people.
There are also more delays in getting the MAX back in the air. American Airlines announced it will not put the aircraft back in service before early June. That will mean the cancellation of 140 flights every single day until then. In a press release, the company said those planes will be gradually worked back into their schedules over the course of a month once it is certified.
We've got your entertainment news next. The Griswold station wagon up for auction.
Iconic.
That's going for a big price.
Plus, the Netflix show that Nyjah and I can't stop talking about, You, is renewed for a 3rd season.